What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is Professor Anime and welcome back to another video. So before we actually get this video started, I just wanted to thank every one of you who have commented on my Kingdom videos. Like, the support on these videos has been amazing. Like, I'm receiving a lot of comments, a lot of recommendations for live reactions, just little tidbits here and there on how to make the videos better, or even, you know, people clearing some information that I might get mixed up. And speaking about the information that I may even say in this video or future videos of Kingdom, it's kind of difficult to keep every little thing, you know, memorized when it comes to Kingdom because there are so many characters. The series is great. It has a lot of in-depth stuff. It has a great atmosphere to the series, and it's essentially a whole world. And when it comes to this world that Kingdom is set in, it's very hard to keep track of every little detail. Like, at some point, I may even have to reread this series once I finally get caught up. So, if I do end up, getting some, information wrong in this video, please, let me know in the comments down below so that way I can clear it up in future reviews. But thank you to those of you who have laid out information thus far, and for those of you who have been commenting on my videos, because the support to this series has just been amazing. Man, these new lights make me look pasty as fuck. So without further ado, let's actually get this video started. So what are we going to be talking about today in the Kingdom universe? Today we are going to be talking about the 7th and 8th arc in the series. The 7th arc being the Alliance arc, and the 8th arc in the series titled the Third Faction arc. Now, these arcs were pretty short, so that's why I'm covering 2 arcs in one video. And while these arcs are short, these arcs have a lot of build up for what's to come in the next coming arc, and really when it comes down to these 2 arcs, really we don't see too much, warfare going on, but what we actually see is the political perspective of the series. Like, the politics in these 2 arcs is just so interesting. Like, there are a lot of reveals in these 2 arcs, and at the same time, it is just great build up to what's to come in the future arcs of Kingdom. Like, some of this stuff was actually very interesting, and a lot of surprises as well in these 2 arcs. So let's first discuss what happens in the 7th arc of Kingdom, titled the Alliance arc. So, the 7th arc of Kingdom is titled the Alliance arc. Now, the Alliance arc is quite interesting, especially how the whole Alliance ended up going about, but just to make a long story short, we see that the Zhao Prime Minister, Ribuki, from the last arc, the Battle of Bei-O, we see him in, he actually makes an appearance at the Royal Hall of Jin's state. Shin is there, Ryofui is there, which is the Chancellor of the State of Qin, and we see Oki's vassals are there, and I believe Issei was there as well. I could be wrong on that, but nonetheless, Ryobuki ends up arriving in the Royal Palace, and as we know right now, these 2 are enemies, and Ryofui was about to have the troops in the Royal Hall kill the Prime Minister Ryobuki right on the spot. But Ryobuki had an idea planned. He had an idea planned to save his life right then and there. And that was to offer the Chancellor, Ryofui, that he would offer an alliance between the Zhao and the State of Qin. So, of course, everyone within the Royal Hall is completely taken aback by this. They're like, what? How could we make an alliance with our enemies? But eventually, Ryofui does accept the offer, and how he ends up accepting the offer is that he will only accept this proposal if the Prime Minister of Zhao, Ryobuki, ends up giving a city to Qin's state, which is the state of Kanyo. I believe that was how it was pronounced. Excuse me, Konko was the name of the city. Now, Konko is a city whose military significance has surged to the top in the recent years due to the shifting of borders, and it is said that as soon as Riboku was made prime minister, he immediately turned his attention to strengthening the region around Konko, excuse me. And this is a city which, you know, if it were to be given up, you know, it would be a loss for Zhao's side. It would be technically taking a portion of Zhao's strength and completely, you know, putting them at a weakened state, because this state, in fact, you know, is reinforced very well from the help of Riboku. So, of course, Riboku is taken aback by this. He is like, I don't really think I should agree to this, but at this point, I have no choice due to the fact that I might get killed here on the spot. So therefore, we have an alliance actually taking place between the Jin and the Zhao. Oh, but man, the look in Shin's eyes when there was that whole banquet that was taking place, you know, with the, you know, newly formed alliance. Shin was glaring down Riboku, and I was like, yeah, Shin, you better glare this man down. He deserves, you know, he deserves that, you know, kill that you so long for what he did to Oki. I mean, of course, you know, he wasn't technically the one who killed Oki in the war. I mean, Hoken was, but without the help of Riboku, you know, Oki would still be alive to this very day. So when it comes to Riboku's, you know, way on how he went about in the war, he is technically the, you know, foothold of how everything played out in the war with, you know, which resulted in Oki's death. And for that, I want him to suffer. I do not appreciate that he killed off a favorite character of mine in this series. And also, to add on to this, what happens in this arc as well, Shin becomes a 300-man commander. Now, previously in the last arc, he was known as a 100-man commander, but he is now a 300-man commander. So now he has a bigger squad that he can now take into his battles. And without further ado, I think that ends off the 7th arc in the series of Kingdom. Now, the next arc in the series had some big reveals, and this one is titled the Third Faction Arc. So, after the newly formed alliance, eventually, Sei's mother is revealed, and she makes an appearance in the royal court in front of Issei. Of course, Issei, you know, is skeptical on this because they don't really have a good relationship, and you know, they really don't, because when it comes down to his relationship with his mother, ooh, I do not like her at all. Her demeanor, her personality, how she abused Issei in the past, like, I do not like her character at all. I'm just saying. But Issei eventually gives in to have his mother come into the royal court for Issei and her to talk. Like I said, of course, Issei doesn't really want to do this, but at the same time, he accepts the offer for his mother and himself to hold a meeting. And when it comes down to his mother holds a very high prestige within the harems, the royal harems, political influence. So by accepting this meeting for Issei and his mother to arrive, Issei sees this as an asset that could eventually, you know, benefit him in the long run against the Ryo faction. So that is technically why Issei accepts this offer. Now, apparently it is revealed in this arc that Ryofui and the Queen, Issei's mother, are apparently on really good terms, and I mean really good terms, because apparently they were lovers in the past, and upon her appearance in the royal chambers, she ends up bringing Ryofui to her chambers, and they, you know, get it on and shit. Now, during this time, before they actually get it on, Kowu, I believe that was her name, Kowu, the girl who last appeared in Issei's chambers, like back a few arcs ago, apparently she was eavesdropping on this whole situation because she, thought that this was very suspicious that Ryufui and the queen are talking with one another, especially how, they're going down into the queen's chambers. She wanted to know what was going on, and she was eavesdropping on their conversation onto how they can get rid of Issei. So, of course, she is taken aback by this. Eventually, she ends up getting stabbed. Despite being stabbed, though, and mortally wounded, she does end up surviving, however, and is able to tell Issei as to what sort of scheme the queen and Ryufui are planning in order to dethrone Issei. So Issei devises his own plan, and he ends up spreading rumors throughout, pretty much the state of Kin. Of course, it's kind of on the down low, so it doesn't really seem like he knows about it, but the people are very suspicious of Ryufui because, after all, we only have one witness, so a lot of people do not know if these rumors are true or not. However, Their Majesty, or Issei, was the one in order to tell everyone that, these rumors could possibly be true. So, of course, they trust him. So, to basically end off this arc, we have it to where Ryufui denies all these allegations of these rumors spreading around of him and the queen, and Issei is trying his very best in order to, keep this struggle for power in his favor, and he has become more powerful as a king as well, now that he has gained the royal harem's political support. But at the same time, he has, again, this struggle for power between him and his mother and Ryufui as well. So yeah, I think that about does it for the 8th arc in the series of Kingdom, titled The Third Faction Arc. Now, just to give a little brief information as to what the Royal Harem is, since you guys let me know in the comments down below as to what the Royal Harem is. Basically, it is a group in which these girls, can serve the king. They can be servants, or they can sleep in his chambers, or just do anything for the king, when it comes to, like, chores or anything the king wants done. However, it is also a separate political faction in which it holds great influence. And at this moment given in time, we have it to where the queen ends up being, basically this high prestige of holding the royal harem. So, yeah, I think that pretty much ends off these arcs of Kingdom, the 7th and 8th arc. I thought it was a great build-up as to what we can expect, and a lot of politics are involved in this arc, which I really, really did love. When it comes to the politics of Kingdom, like, they are so well done. Like, I really do love these. It's probably one of the best political series that I have seen. So, yeah, I think that about does it for this video. Let me know in the comments down below on what you guys thought about these 2 arcs. Did I hit the nail on pretty much all the information? If you guys want to let me know as to what things I could have missed, or if I did end up messing up on the information, definitely let me know in the comments down below as to, any more information you guys could give me and what to look forward to. Other than that, if you want to stay updated to my future content on this channel, hit that red subscribe button down below. Thank you for watching.